Jey Uso finally dethrones Roman Reigns. Things we learned at WrestleMania 39. WWE Intercontinental Champion Gunther challenges Roman Reigns. Solo Sikoa ready to be a top guy. Seth Rollins to dethrone Roman Reigns in WWE. According to fans, Brock Lesnar chases WWE officials at a scary speed. Let's jump right into it. Things we learned at WrestleMania 39. WrestleMania 39 has come and gone. One of the best shows in recent memory, the two-night extravaganza delivered an incredible dose of entertainment with cinema-like storytelling and exciting surprises. Considering how the drama unfolded before our eyes over the weekend, there were many noteworthy moments coming out of the show of shows. Here's a short compilation of 5 things we learned at WrestleMania 39. Number 5. Seth Rollins may be the new Mr. WrestleMania. Through a series of scintillating performances at the grandest stage of them all, Shawn Michaels rightfully earned the moniker of Mr. WrestleMania. However, HBK retired from in-ring competition in 2010, and we need a replacement. Although he hasn't competed in many WrestleMania main events, including the heist of the century in 2015, Seth Rollins may be the modern-day version of Shawn Michaels, at least at the show of shows. Last Saturday, Rollins stole the show in a barn burner against Logan Paul. Last year, he probably had the match of the night against Cody Rhodes. Even with no crowd attending WrestleMania 36, the Visionary worked a thriller with Kevin Owens. His win-loss record at Mania is also pretty impressive, and it improved with his statement victory over Paul. The Visionary needs to main event WrestleMania again, and we hope that happens soon. Number 4. Following her loss at WrestleMania 39, Asuka may be becoming the Dolph Ziggler of the women's division. Asuka wanted to write the perfect redemption arc to redeem herself by winning the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania 39. What should have been her crowning moment culminated in an all-too-familiar scenario with Bianca Belair emerging on top. With all due respect to the EST, the Empress of Tomorrow needed to win more, as it would have launched her to the stratosphere of the women's division. Instead, she is on track to becoming the Dolph Ziggler of the female roster, i.e., an extraordinarily talented and seasoned veteran who never really broke out as a top-tier superstar. Much like Ziggler, Asuka had many opportunities in the past when she was on the cusp of becoming a massive superstar. They have also won the World Championship but have never been considered main event-level premium athletes. Considering her loss to Belair, our suspicions will only grow, and everyone might eventually lose hope in Asuka. Number 3. Omos was not the right opponent for Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 39. The WWE Universe had plenty of reservations and doubts when Omos was chosen as Brock Lesnar's opponent for WrestleMania 39. Lesnar is one of sports entertainment's most recognizable and accomplished names, while the Nigerian giant has a long journey ahead of him. Furthermore, Omos lost a lot of momentum and steam following his loss to Braun Strowman at Crown Jewel 2022. Thus, his credibility was quickly called into question. Our doubts were true at WrestleMania Sunday when Lesnar vs. Omos opened the show. This was an average Brock Lesnar match with a fine dose of signature moves, but it paled compared to the other encounters on the Mania card. It was underwhelming, and there weren't many highlight reel-worthy moments besides Lesnar's signature moves. When one considers the other potential opponents for Lesnar at the time, like Bobby Lashley, it becomes clear that Lesnar vs. Omos was a mistake. Number 2. Gunther may be the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. The Bloodline set new records with their generational run at the top. Bianca Belair's Raw Women's Championship reign has continued forever. Against the backdrop of these impressive reigns, Gunther has slowly and steadily pierced together an unbelievable run with the prestigious Intercontinental Championship. His greatest challenge occurred this past Sunday at WrestleMania 39 when he collided with a motivated Sheamus and ferocious Drew McIntyre in a triple threat. We were half expecting a fierce battle, and the 3 heavy hitters delivered a brutal war that wasn't for the faint-hearted. The welts and bruises they left on each other's bodies were difficult to watch. The commentary team gave the 3 men a well-deserved standing ovation following the match's conclusion. As for the finish, we were expecting Sheamus to finally realize his dream of becoming a Grand Slam champion, but Gunther was in no mood to lose his title at WrestleMania 39. There are virtually no credible opponents left for him on SmackDown. Thankfully, a draft is coming up to freshen up the scene. Thus, more challengers will emerge. At this point, Gunther's reign has been so brilliant that no one wants it to end. Number 1. Roman Reigns is the greatest of all time. From one generational champion to another, Roman Reigns has surpassed all expectations and taken on all comers in his historic World Championship reign. He really is operating in God mode, for there is simply no one on his level. A motivated and emotional Cody Rhodes was well on his way to rewriting the perfect comeback story at WrestleMania 39, but a vicious Roman Reigns stood in his path. Granted, Solo Sikoa was instrumental in Rhodes' loss, but credit must be given to Reigns for capitalizing on the interference. Furthermore, he also kicked out of several crossroads, a rare sight in this age. In the press conference, he stated that he established his status as the GOAT of professional wrestling. Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Edge, Drew McIntyre, and now Rhodes have fallen to the tribal chief. He is nearing 1,000 days as world champion, and no one knows who will dethrone him. WWE Intercontinental Champion Gunther challenges Roman Reigns. WWE Intercontinental Champion Gunther believes he could still be champion next year at WrestleMania 40 and be in the main event against Roman Reigns. The Tribal Chief narrowly escaped defeat at the hands of Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 39, retaining his undisputed WWE Universal Championship and keeping his undefeated by pinfall or submission record. Elsewhere on the SmackDown roster, Gunther has been on an undefeated streak of his own since making his debut in April last year. When asked about the possibility of facing Roman Reigns next year as the Intercontinental Champion, a la Hulk Hogan vs. Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 6, Gunther showed confidence. He claimed he would be focused on retaining the title until next year. The Ring General stated the following on the latest episode of WWE's The Bump, coming back to protecting and restoring. If I want to do that on the biggest scale possible and have the biggest impact possible with that, my goal needs to be in the most prominent spot of WrestleMania. That's why I said it. I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to stay focused, and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm fairly confident in my skill. So, we will see how it plays out over the next year. But I stand with that claim, or that prediction. During Sportskeeda Wrestling's The Wrestling Time Machine podcast hosted by Mac Davis, Bill Apter named Roman Reigns and Bryan Danielson as two of the best wrestlers in the business today. He then moved on to another personal favorite of his, and that is none other than Gunther. The veteran stated that everything the Ring General does looks like a shoot. In the third one, I have been making a lot of noise for the man formerly known as Walter, the Austrian star known as Gunther. My goodness, here's a guy who can wrestle technically, he can destroy. Everything he does looks like a shoot, added Bill Apter. While the American Nightmare's goal of winning the WWE Championship is still a story that fans can get behind. Perhaps Intercontinental Champion Gunther facing undisputed World Champion Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40 may be the next big main event. Solo Sikoa ready to be a top guy. Roman Reigns is currently at the top of his game in WWE. His bloodline stablemate Solo Sikoa has also caught the attention of many while having the spotlight on him. Reigns and Sikoa were recently praised by Anoa'i family member Lance Anoa'i. Taking to Twitter, Lance reflected on Reigns' historic win over Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 39. He even mentioned that Sikoa is ready to be a top guy and praised the Usos, who lost the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. To be a part of the greatest wrestling family ever just makes me proud. 4 members a part of both nights' main event of at WrestleMania greatest tag team champions ever at WWE Uso. At WWE Solo Sikoa my man is ready to be a top guy, and then at WWE Roman Reigns he is just on another level. Wrote Lance. Anoa'i previously shared the screen with Reigns briefly on an episode of WWE Raw. He lost to Shane McMahon before being attacked by Drew McIntyre. This eventually led to Reigns saving his family member. The 31-year-old is currently working under Major League Wrestling, where he is the current MLW World Tag Team Champion with Juice Finau. Bill Apter believes Gunther could be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns. Speaking on Sportskeeda Wrestling's The Wrestling Time Machine podcast, Apter explained why the Ring General should be the one to win the titles. The veteran even discussed the segment when Gunther lashed out at Adam Pearce before WrestleMania 39. And I think the World Championship, the Universal Championship, would be, if they want a heel champion in that role, besides Roman Reigns, of course, this guy would be really good. When he stood in the face of Adam Pearce, nose to nose, saying, "Tell me why this has to be," I was afraid for Adam Pearce. You can see the fans when he walks to the ring, the fans are afraid of him, said Apter. Do you want to see Roman Reigns recruit more members to the bloodline? Sound off in the comments section. Seth Rollins to dethrone Roman Reigns in WWE, according to fans. With even Cody Rhodes failing to dethrone Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39, fans are wondering whom the promotion will eventually pull the trigger on to end the reign. If reactions to a recent Twitter post are anything to go by, the Tribal Chief's former Shield stablemate Seth Rollins could be the one to do the honors. Reigns and Rollins go a long way back as they found their footing together in WWE as part of the Shield, which also included AEW star Jon Moxley. Though the Messiah and the former Dean Ambrose also became main event stars, it was Roman Reigns who was the most pushed and protected of the three. The Bloodline Chief is inching on hitting a staggering 1,000 days as the undisputed WWE Universal Champion. Only a few have come close to ending his reign, one of them being Seth Rollins, who faced him at the Royal Rumble 2022. The Visionary didn't even lose the match, as Reigns lost his cool, resulting in the latter being disqualified. A recent Twitter post asked fans who could be the ideal candidate to defeat Roman Reigns. Fans thronged to the comments section with their picks, with many pointing out how Seth Rollins deserves to dethrone his former friend. The crowd of the SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles was left in a state of shock after the Tribal Chief defeated Cody Rhodes in the main event of WrestleMania 39 Night 2. However, Seth Rollins and his wife, Becky Lynch, who won their respective matches on the Show of Shows, seemingly looked pleased with the outcome. A fan clicked the duo's reaction in the stadium, where the Visionary can be spotted giving a toast to fans while Lynch was smiling. Rollins, however, later took to Twitter to clarify that he was actually celebrating fans singing his theme song. Considering just how over Seth Rollins is currently, it's safe to say fans won't have any problem if WWE picks him to dethrone Roman Reigns down the line. Do you see the visionary and the tribal chief colliding anytime soon in WWE? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Brock Lesnar chases WWE officials at a scary speed. WWE superstar Brock Lesnar was captured at his scariest best during his latest appearance on Raw after WrestleMania 39. Lesnar shocked the WWE Universe when he turned heel and attacked Cody Rhodes before their tag team match against Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa in the main event. The final moments of the show saw Lesnar unleash a brutal attack on Cody Rhodes, where he subjected the American Nightmare to multiple suplexes and F5s. Several officials and security personnel rushed inside the ring to protect Rhodes, but no one was willing to square up to the Beast incarnate. The Beast then brought the steel steps from the outside and dropped Cody onto the hardened structure with an F5 before leaving the ring. A fan then recorded a video of Brock Lesnar making his way back when he suddenly changed his mind and went after the referees instead. Everyone in his path immediately squandered, accounting for a hilarious yet intimidating visual. Even members of the crowd at ringside moved away to make way for the Beast, who was on the other side of the barricade. The Beast seemed to be in two minds about attacking Cody Rhodes. Every time he left the ring, Lesnar returned to lay more wrath. He had already disappeared behind the curtain less than a minute before the show was supposed to end. However, Lesnar unexpectedly walked out and showed two middle fingers directly to the camera. WWE fans in the live audience erupted with a loud pop while viewers at home scrambled to take a screenshot of the Beast flipping the bird. Interestingly, fans then used the same picture of Brock Lesnar showing two middle fingers in response to the company asking for their opinion on Raw after WrestleMania this year. Signs that Jey Uso will be the one to finally dethrone Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is arguably the most dominant champion in the history of WWE. The Tribal Chief is the reigning undisputed WWE Universal Champion, and he's quickly approaching a massive milestone. Reigns has held the WWE title for over a year now, but his time as Universal Champion has been even more impressive. The head of the table has held that belt since 2020 and he's approaching 1,000 days straight as champion. While there have been many epic contenders for his belt, Roman has stood tall at the end in the face of all comers. Many are questioning who could be the one to finally defeat Reigns. The person best suited for the big moment may be his cousin Jey Uso. This video will dive into a handful of signs as to why Jey may be lined up to dethrone Reigns, while also discussing the reasons why he's arguably the best choice given recent development. Here are 5 signs that Jey Uso will be the one to finally dethrone Roman Reigns. Number 5. Jey Uso was part of the main event of WWE WrestleMania 39. Jey Uso had a massive weekend. The incredible tag team wrestler teamed up with Jimmy Uso to take on Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn during WWE WrestleMania 39 Night 1. The bout was notable for several reasons. Kevin and Sami challenged and won the unified Raw and SmackDown tag team titles. This ended the longest tag team title reign in the company's history. The bout was also notable for being the first ever WrestleMania main event where the WWE tag team titles were on the line. While Jimmy and Jey lost the bout, the position showcases how highly World Wrestling Entertainment thinks of the tandem. Jey was just in the main event of the show of shows and broke records in doing so. His massive push indicates how well the company views him and his potential. Number 4. Roman has abused Jey for years without being checked for it. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso's story is a complicated one. They grew up together, alongside Jimmy, but their early careers were quite different. Roman joined WWE later than the twins, eventually shooting to the top of the card as a member of The Shield and later as a single star. Meanwhile, the Usos were always a tag team. Roman and Jey battled and joined forces on occasion, but it wasn't until Roman's heel run beginning in 2000 that he and Uso started to really have issues on screen. The Tribal Chief has abused Jey mentally and physically, manipulating him into doing his bidding for years. Despite the constant abuse, Jey is yet to really stand up to Roman, at least since the bloodline was properly formed. The signs are there that he has to overcome the abuse sooner or later, and it would make for a great story if he's the one to dethrone the Tribal Chief. Number 3. The top 2 potential options already lost to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has been a dominant, undisputed WWE Universal Champion. He's battled some of the top stars but ultimately stood tall. The stars he's defeated include the likes of Edge, Brock Lesnar, Rey Mysterio, Daniel Bryan, and Cesaro, among others. Perhaps the 2 biggest and most popular names to step up to Roman have been Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes. He beat Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber and then Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Both men were heavily favored by much of the WWE Universe. With the key favorites to dethrone Roman now having lost, it opens up a new opportunity for somebody else to step up. The field is pretty barren, as Reigns has beaten almost anybody. Jey could be the one to step up and fill the hole, however. Number 2. Jey has been the MVP of the Bloodline angle. Most fans will tell you that the Bloodline angle has been the best WWE storyline in years. Some will even argue it's the best angle the company has had in decades. Regardless, the story has been heavily praised due to a tremendous performance from an incredible cast of characters. Roman Reigns, Sami Zayn, the Usos, Solo Sikoa, Paul Heyman, Cody Rhodes, and Kevin Owens all made for one of the best angles in wrestling history. While there's a lot of credit to go around, many believe that Jey Uso is the MVP of the angle. His facial expressions, reactions, and skills on the microphone really sold so much of the story. Given his status as the MVP, he'd be the perfect person to ultimately benefit from defeating Reigns. Number 1. Fans were behind Jey potentially standing up to Roman Reigns. Jey Uso has had an interesting few months. While he's seemingly back in the trenches with the Bloodline, many wondered if the WWE SmackDown star was going to leave the group as recently as a month or so ago. When Jey left the faction temporarily, the crowd seemed to rally behind him. He started hanging out in the crowd, similar to Sting hanging out in the rafters on WCW Monday Nitro decades prior. While main event Jey Uso ultimately chose the Bloodline, fans got behind him as a singles entity, potentially standing up to his cousin. If Jey turns on Roman Reigns in the future, they will likely be on his side again. The crowd's support is a major hint of what's to come.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me